They're similar, but I think this one inches it out just a little. I feel like this smoke, don't look at me like that now. I'm like I chose wrong.
Can a simple pellet smoke tube produce an equally good brisket as an actual pellet smoker? Well, as ludicrous as this idea may seem, I've already had an amazing result head-to-head putting an inexpensive pellet grill like this Z-Grill's 700 2C 2E against a pellet grill costing 3 times as much, the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro with the innovative smoke box. Now, this isn't to say there's not value in more expensive pellet grills in terms of how they're constructed, warranties, app features, you name it. But in a head-to-head taste test, we could not tell any difference. And so now I want to find out if the same is true. You see those accessories, smoke tubes, smoke boxes for gas grills, if you could turn out an equally good brisket as what you might get on a pellet grill. Now, bias alert here. I've said many times on the channel, I am not a fan of pellet grills, nor am I a fan of propane. I picked this up specifically for this video, and there's actually a charity in town that said they need a brand new propane grill. And since I don't have access to those with anything that I receive on my channel, I did go out and buy this specifically to do a couple of tests. But this is a question that comes up all the time. If you have a propane grill, one of the most common landing spaces to land on if you're looking to add a smoker is the pellet grill category. And while my opinion from tests in the past is that you just don't get that much smoke flavor, especially compared to an offset or what I'm able to do on a Kamado style grill, this is still by far the industry leader. But I can't help but wonder, for about $20, can we turn a propane grill into a smoker and save ourselves hundreds, if not thousands of dollars from jumping into the pellet category in the first place? Let's find out. So I picked up as 2 near identical briskets as I could find in Costco. These were within a couple ounces of one another pre-trimmed. So we're starting with just over about 12 pounds for both briskets. I gave them a quick trim, getting a little bit of the silver skin and fat off the bottom, as well as any of the thick hard fat that I'm gonna add inside of the Z-Grills and just let that turn into some beef tallow. I'm not gonna add any tallow to either of these briskets as I wanna compare pellet smoker smoke quality to propane grill smoke quality with a pellet tube, and I don't want any outside interference. So after I gave the 2 briskets a trim to get them as close as possible as I could for 2 different briskets, I used my homemade Texas rub as my seasoning. If you've not seen this before, this is something that I did a blind taste test with the Franklin's barbecue rub, with the Goldie's rub, as well as the Black's rub, and I did a head-to-head, and everybody liked different elements of each rub. And so I've merged some of everyone's favorite things from each of those 3 rubs and made my own concoction. But unlike these places, I'm not selling this online. The recipe is posted on my website for free. If you want to follow along and make that, head over to SMOKINGDADBBQ.com and check out the make your own rub section. For the smoke, things are going to be really simple. I'm going to use a meter in each of these 2 briskets to keep track of things. I'm going to add enough pellets in the hopper of the Z-Grills to make sure that it can run all day. And then for the setup on a propane grill, there's a couple things that you want to avoid. I've seen or read some complaints of people who in the past have added smoke pouches or smoke tubes and put that right beside your active fire. Well, the problem with all that white smoke is it can sometimes consume the oxygen that the flame needs in order to breathe. So let me show you how I plan to set up in order to get nice clean smoke, as well as having some natural draw of that smoke over top of our brisket. And then we get our 2 briskets on each grill, start the clock, and see, is the pellet grill all hype, or can it beat the $20 pellet smoke tube inside of your propane grill? Let's find out. Okay, so how we're gonna get some smoke on a gas grill. Let's start by removing our cooking grids here so we can get access to the fire. So the first method of smoke that I'm gonna add, this is made for propane grills. It has a lot more holes than a concept that is often used in the Kamado community, where you would have a pot, seal it tight, and have 3 holes, and this will turn the wood chips inside into charcoal. So this is based off of a very similar concept. I don't use these very often, so I'm curious if the extra holes is actually going to work or not. But I want to start by placing this right down low near the heat source. Next, if I've measured right, a water pan. And this will give us some humidity as well as protection from the heat. And then last but not least, I'm going to place our pellet tube smoker, which I absolutely know adds supplemental smoke. And this was the key to neutralizing a more expensive pellet grill with an integrated smoke box like the Woodwind by Camp Chef, the Woodwind Pro. And so I'm gonna make this a little bit more accessible down here on the right-hand side so that we can continue to add a supplemental smoke. Regardless of which method that you're using to add smoke in your cook, we do want to give ourselves the benefit of physics here. So if we're gonna be cooking on this side with the hot air, as that hot air comes up and rises, that's going to create a bit of a vacuum, just the same way as clouds work, where that cold air will rush in and fill that space. So I'm placing my smoke tube on the cool side of the grill so that physics will help suck in that smoke and make sure that we actually get smoke passing over our brisket. I've actually just reconfigured, since this will fit front to back, and this will give me space for the brisket not to be directly over the water pan. So we'll have some heat and moisture coming up. We'll have our smoke being pulled in. I think this is our best foot forward for getting good smoke on a gas grill. Let's start our fire, add our brisket, and I'll use the meter app to help regulate so that we're getting to the same 250 to 270 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's close this up and throw our other brisket on the pellet smoker. Okay, we are just coming up to the 7-hour mark, and if I take a peek at each of these two briskets, surprisingly, somehow our propane grill with a pellet tube is the better looking bark of these two so far. Now I went after that clip was recorded with my Chef's Temp X10 to get a bit of a probe feel. The meter was saying we were getting close, but I now want to feel around. You can do this with a toothpick or with a probe. The probe's just gonna give you that much more information in terms of what's actually going on. But right now, both briskets, so remember those childhood toys where you put your fingers in, pull them out, and they get stuck? It feels like there's a bit of tension. That's exactly what the probe feels like. So this is still no good. We want that probe to give us no resistance going in and out, just like if it was going into a stick of room temperature butter or peanut butter. If you've got that available to practice that feel, that's exactly what we want. So I think at this temperature and feel, we need about another 30 minutes. And then the game plan from here is to let these rest down for about 4 hours until they reach an internal temperature of 140 degrees. And since I think this will lose its heat very quickly, the game plan is just to leave them in here, if need be, with one burner on the very far side, all the way down low, just to keep those at a food safe temperature, just like you would do in the oven, but I can keep everything outside. Before I forget though, as I mentioned at the beginning of this update, we're just past 7 hours, which is incredibly quick, even for something like these 12 to 13 pound briskets before the trim. I didn't weigh them after, but we'd still be, I think, just touching about 12 pounds based off of what I took off. These didn't come with large mohawks on them. And so 7 to 8 hours for a brisket cook is incredibly quick. So I'm gonna overlay here just a bit of an infrared camera, since I have one of those available, just to see the heat signatures, because both of these are cooking the exact same time. Both meters are reading the same temperatures, and both spot feels all over are showing me very similar temperatures and very similar feels. So we're getting similar heat signatures in these two grills, both of which are providing some heat underneath. So we're getting some conductive energy from the grids, as well as the deflector plates or the flavor bars underneath the gas grill, along with the convection airflow. So this is on the fast side of things for a brisket, even though I've done my best to keep our temperatures in that 250 to 270 degree range. I did notice a little bit earlier on, if I show you the meter chart from earlier in the day, there are cool zones inside of the gas grill. So if I put the probe sort of facing right at the front or right at the back, I would see some irregularities in the temperature, but right on the dome, as well as when I move things back into place, things came right in line for about that average median temperature of 270 degrees Fahrenheit. So the game plan from here, as you can tell, I had a water pan in each. There's still a little bit of water left for my smoked tallow. I'm just gonna let that keep going, so I have some tallow for a future cook. You can also tell, as I didn't mention it, but you saw in the clip there, that I moved to the foil boat on both briskets at 165 degrees Fahrenheit. That's once the bark up top was starting to look fairly well formed. You don't want to go too late in the cook, particularly on both of these grills, as I notice some bottom heat. If I were to let these go too long, I'd start to get some overdone drying, or if not tearing when we slice into these briskets. So hopefully we caught that early enough. At the same time, you don't want to go to the foil boat at the very beginning, as we won't get any bark, and we will render out all the fat, and you'll end up being in a bit of a foil pool of tallow, if you will, in terms of the quantities of fat that are rendering out, which will strip away the seasoning as well as any chance for a bark. So if we've timed it right, 165 in general should be a good point to do that. So I'll let these rest down to 140, and I'll see you in about 4 hours for our taste test. Well, I am a little bit in disbelief that one of these two briskets was smoked on a propane grill. So Sarah won't know, but I put on the front counter right in front of you marking which is which. So on my right, your left is the propane grill with a couple rounds of the pellet smoke tube. So let's grab out our knife, slice these up, get them ready for a taste test, and then I'll call Sarah out, who doesn't know or hasn't seen either of these to know any of the details about which is which, and we'll get her blind observation if she can tell which one has more smoke flavor, and if there's one that she prefers between the two of them. Let's grab our knife. All right, I phoned a friend.
Yes, you did.
So lie detector, did I tell you anything about either of these two briskets?
I have no idea.
All right.
Nothing.
So I'm gonna keep quiet and not share my reaction until you've had a chance to sample all 4 pieces.
Okay.
So if there's one you wanna start with, go for it.
All right, so we'll start here.
Yep, so that is our point end.
Okay, point end.
It's brisket number 1.
Okay, brisket number 1.
Do you want to do the same thing?
Yeah, I'll do the point on the second one.
So right here?
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Already a reaction?
Well, I love brisket. It's so good and I'm hungry.
But do you love these briskets?
They're good.
I'm worried.
You're worried? No,
worried.
they're good.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Do you already have a decision, or do you want to try the flat?
I'm gonna try it. Let me try the flat.
Go for it.
This is difficult. Okay.
Got a piece of flat. Flat. Okay. Brisket number 2.
Okay.
There you go. What can you tell us?
It's delicious. I love the flavor. I feel, okay, brisket needs smoke for good flavor.
Yep. Can I get that writing?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I do like smoke with brisket.
Yes.
I feel they're similar, but I think this one inches it out just a little. I feel like the smoke. Don't look at me like that now. I'm like I chose wrong.
No, you didn't choose wrong.
I
I'm
know.
just very. I need to hang on.
It is a little stronger smoke profile on that one. Like they both, obviously you flavored them the same, I'm assuming. This one, I think the smoke just plays a little bit of a stronger part in the flavor profile. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know now. You look like you're puzzled. Should I try again?
No, it's because I know which is which.
Yeah.
Let me try another piece here.
Try another and see if you disagree with me.
No. Now I've had one of each. While I'm chewing this next one,
yes.
Neither of them is a lot of smoke.
No, not at all.
Right.
No, it's not. They're not, it's not. Okay, I've had your like amazing briskets with wood, fire, and it's amazing, and it tastes like this. I would not say one of these are like your best briskets.
No. You couldn't see when I was slicing, but the heat characteristics didn't render some of the intramuscular fat at, like, I would say to a passable standard.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was that, but also the smoke. It's not quite pot roast.
No, it's not quite pot roast. Like you can tell that they're I can tell that my grandma didn't do them in the oven, right? But they, there is smoke there.
You know what?
I think there's more smoke on this one.
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm gonna do one more. This is the better.
It's passable.
Yes,
yeah,
passable.
Like it's good brisket. It's just not the best brisket you make.
Are you ready? So I'm
Am I going to be shocked? How did you cook them?
I'm with Sarah. So we are in agreement.
Yeah.
Brisket number 2 here is the best brisket.
Yes, it is. For passable briskets.
Which was cooked on a gas grill.
Oh, James, did you throw up in your mouth a little cooking on a gas grill?
A little bit.
I didn't think that I would hear you say that.
A little bit. So last month I had Sarah out and we put a pellet grill versus a more expensive pellet grill with a smoke tube. Yeah. So the smoke tube has made another appearance. So it was added to a gas grill.
That's crazy.
The same temperature. And that's all this has for smoke. Okay. Whereas this is smoked as you would on any standard pellet grill.
Okay.
And I cannot believe that both of us, now, again.
So you do agree with me?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Not best brisket, but
not
comparing the two side by side, I would absolutely have that one.
Yeah. No, it's not your best brisket, no offense. But the fact that it's gas, I'm like,
that's shocking.
That's shocking.
So the argument here is that I opened the video with, you were inside or doing some errands, is that the pellet grill has started a brand new category of people that want to get smoke flavor and almost immediately want to jump into that, but they don't want the fire management headaches that can come with that. And you probably tasted some many years ago the learning curve that is immediately skipped.
It was a big learning curve.
Big learning curve. That's okay. I remember it too. Right. But you know, for $20 here to have the equivalent of a brisket, you know, that Z-Grills is on the more affordable side of things, but it's still over $500 US, nearly $800 for a Wi-Fi model, competing against a $20 pellet tube.
Yeah.
So what
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. Yeah.
What I will thank the pellet grill for, though, is causing innovation. And since pellet grills have come out, because when we first started, we had a neighbor in a different city that we lived in years ago.
Oh yeah.
When I was first getting started.
I know what you're gonna say.
Well, you know, you cut me to the core. We had a neighbor years ago, and I was trying to learn the fire management. Our neighbor wanted nothing to do with fire management, went and bought a Traeger, didn't know anything, followed the app to the T, and you went over, and day one, what was your verdict on Aaron's ribs?
They were the best ribs I'd ever had.
And that is why you buy a pellet grill, it is foolproof. But flash forward a decade from my darkest day.
Yes. You were really upset with me.
A decade later from my darkest day, there's other options.
Yes.
And so we've recently tasted briskets like the Masterbuilt Auto Ignite or Gravity Series, or even on a Kamado style grill, there's fans like I did a test last year comparing some of the best and found that Fireboard offered the most versatility. But you can just plug that in and get the same pellet grill experience now on a much broader form factor of grills and not be limited to, I think it should do better than a $20 smoke tube. And I think you can do better. In fact, I know you can do better as we've tasted those side by side. So not what I expected when we started the day. Thanks, Sarah, for helping me decide. That's it for today. I'm James from SMOKINGDADBBQ signing off. Remember, don't be afraid to fire it up. No propane.
No. Propane. I can't believe it.
We'll see you on the next one.